Welcome back to the channel, you guys. And as you guys can see, I have wasted zero time. I got all the parts in for the car and started working. Everything TH400 is out of the car. You guys will see here. See, the interior is completely taken apart. The shifter's gone. Yeah, there's nothing TH400 related left in the car. The transmission is over here. This is my shifter with my ATF adapter kit, the billet flywheel. My Pro Torque converter is down there in the oil pan. Actually, you know what? I take it back. There is one thing left that's TH400 related, and that is the oil cooler that is behind the intercooler. So I still have to remove the front bumper, take off the oil cooler, remove the lines, and then everything TH400 would be gone. But I'm leaving that to the last point because this whole deal is a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time. So I'm kind of attacking it in a way where I'm maximizing my time, because unfortunately I still have a full-time day job. I wish I could do YouTube full-time. If not, I would go into all these videos in depth, in detail, but I'm trying to, you know, use my time wisely. You guys will see the T56 is right there. I mean, it's a, you know, T56 transmission. There's really nothing fancy about it. I've shown you guys two of them before. I showed you the one for the other Supra, the one for my Mustang, and there's another one. Now, one quick note here. As you guys can see, there's two TH400s. This one is off the Mustang. This one's off the Supra. This one is brand new, completely brand spanking new, with a stage 3 plus build kit, new trans brake. It's all, I'm basically selling the entire swap. This box here is full of the entire swap kit from my Mustang. So if anybody's interested in that, let me know, send me a message. The swap kit for the Supra is also going to be on sale, but I need to get everything off the car. And that transmission is still good. As you guys saw in the previous video, it still runs, you know, fairly strong. However, I would encourage whoever buys this from me to rebuild it, so that way it can last you a long time. This build here, as you guys can tell, which was built by FTI, this whole time I thought it was an ATF trans. I was completely mistaken. Was built on February of 2016, and yeah, that means this transmission has been kicking ass for about 8 years now. I think is due for a fresh upgrade. So whoever buys that, please rebuild it. So now let's go ahead and let me show you guys the car. So in here, you guys will see that the interior is taken apart. I had to remove all this to get the shifter out. Oh man, I forgot I still had to remove this. So whoever gets this kit is also going to get the Dakota digital box, so you guys can make your speedometer work. I never showed this on camera, but my clutch pedal has always been there, because this car is an original 6-speed V160 car. All I had to do is just tuck it back under the carpet, and there you go, 3 pedals are back. You know, one thing I am gonna miss, my carbon fiber drive shaft from DSS. I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna try an aluminum one on this car for now. We'll see how it does. Hopefully it lasts. Right here, you guys will see that's where the clutch master cylinder goes, or went. This is the original one for the V160. Oh, dropped a pin. These are the lines that came out of the car. And here is the new Grannis Racing Tilton setup. This is an adapter that Grannis creates. This is Tilton, I believe it's 5,000 or 6,000. I can't remember what it's called. It's very specific for that clutch that I got. All right, so this is the stuff that's not in the garage, because I really can't install all this until the transmission's pretty much ready to go into the car or is on the car. So first things first, this right here is part of the hydraulic release bearing. This will go on the transmission, and I'll show you guys how to install that once I get to that point. This here is the new bleeder line coming from the Tilton clutch master cylinder. This goes on top, this goes towards the bottom. This is the harness that Grannis provides you with the Bluetooth module, fancy stuff. This is what I have on the other Supra. Absolutely amazing. This right here are the clutch bolts. This alignment tool I will not be using because I have a billet alignment tool from the previous kit that I bought from him, but I will be using these bolts. This here is the trans mount with the bushing. This here is the Grannis 6-speed shift knob, which I'm still not too sure if I'm going to install this on my car or put it on the other Supra, because I still have my original 6-speed shift knob on my car. So still not sure about this. This here is the shifter handle. Obviously it is the short version, just to make it a lot nicer. Yeah, I forgot about this. Pilot bearing. I need to remove the pilot bearing that's in the car now, because it's still from the V160, and install this one, which is T56 specific. And the last piece, but certainly probably the most important one, the Tilton ST246 HD. This clutch here should be able to handle maybe 1600-ish horsepower, which is right about where I plan to be. Not to spoil anything, but yeah, this is the Tilton ST246 HD. I have this regular Tilton ST246 on the other Supra. I cannot say enough good things about it. It's absolutely amazing. So I figured I would get the strongest version for my car, and hopefully I like it as much as I like the other one. So let's go back to the garage. Most people don't know how involved it is to do a T56 swaps on these cars. At least to do them properly, you got to do a lot of steps. So let me show you guys this. This is a setup that you use to index your transmission. So basically what you have to do is you have to take measurements to make sure that your input shaft is going to go perfectly straight into the pilot bearing. You don't want to put any load or any weight on the input shaft of the transmission. I've seen people do these swaps without doing this. It's not the correct way. I mean, if you're going to just prematurely wear out something on the transmission regarding the input shaft. So basically what you do is you get this magnetic base. This is like a little dial indicator, and you measure, you know, the distances, and that way you can see which way you have to move your bell housing with some offset dowel pins, which is the reason that I haven't finished the swap, is because I've actually ordered those pins from Grannis, and they hopefully should be here tomorrow. I need to get some offset dowel pins so I can move the transmission. I can't remember if it's this way or that way, but I need to make it to where it is 5 thousandths or less from each side. It needs to be even. Very, very complicated, guys. I mean, it takes a little bit of time to kind of understand the concept. Now, unfortunately, that is not the only calculation that you have to do. So once you have everything else ready to go and you got the clutch installed, you have to calculate what's called an air gap. And thank you, Joel, for providing us with the proper videos to do this with, you know, with ease. Honestly, it's not too bad. And another thing that I wanted to touch base, man, a lot of people have been messaging me. As you guys can tell, my shirt is soaked. Like, this is all sweat. It is like 90 something degrees. It honestly probably feels like 100 something because of the humidity. It rained earlier today. But you know, a lot of people, look at these guys. A lot of people always are asking me, how do you afford all this stuff? How do you do all this? Well, it's because I do all this hard ass labor, man. Like, this kind of stuff takes thousands of dollars if you're gonna pay a shop to do it. And I do it all on my own. It sucks. It sucks ass, trust me. Being on the floor, getting in and out, in and out, in and out, it is exhausting. My back is sore, my neck is sore, my shoulders are sore, my forearms. But that's how I afford all this stuff, you guys. I mean, I work hard. I don't spend a lot of money in other places. Besides the cars, really, I really don't have much. I don't really have any other hobbies. I don't spend money on designer clothes or fancy stuff. This is what I do. And so I work hard, I save up for a long time, and that's how I make it happen. It took me a damn year to get the money for this, so it doesn't happen overnight, you guys. It's just the way I program it on these videos. It just kind of makes it seem like it's happening fairly quickly. Two. Yeah, this is solid. Yeah, we're good. All right. So if you're doing this, use sourdough bread. Not even one slice of bread, and the bearing pops out. Oh, sourdough. So those two clips there you guys saw, my Lala helping me index the bell housing, got that actually perfect. Like, I mean, that is as close to perfect as you can get. Not even on the other Supra did I get that close. Then you saw me using sourdough bread to get the old pilot bearing out. This is the pilot bearing here for the V160. Got the new T56 one installed. And just now, I had Lana help me hold, oh no, my light died. God damn it. Can you guys imagine the amazing content that I would be able to bring you if I had a regular shop or a decent sized garage with good lighting? Well, look how tight it is in here, you guys. I barely have enough space to walk in here. But what I was trying to show you, I had Lala over here to the garage to help me hold the crank. I went ahead and torqued down the flywheel, got the pilot bearing installed. So now it's time to install this beautiful Tilton SC246 HD version. And then after that, I'll get the bell housing back on the car. And then I can do the measurements from the transmission to the clutch and then the fingertips of the pressure plate to measure for the air gap. It's just extremely hot in this garage. It's hot and humid outside. I think it's probably like 90 something degrees and the humidity is ridiculous, man. Unless you want to be in the video. Get yourself a good woman that brings you a fan, because god damn it, it's hot in here. All right, so everything's in the car as far as the trans, bell housing, the clutch, everything's all perfectly aligned. Now what I have to do is install, this is really all that's left on the swap. So what I have to do now is install this onto the transmission and then get some measurements to measure for the air gap, and that's going to be the space that the bearing will have in between the fingers and the throwout bearing before you bleed it. That's very important, because once you bleed it, then that space is going to be pretty much gone. So let's get this mounted on here. Where the hell is that spot at? I can put this right here. All right. Almost there, boys. Almost there. No lie, I am tired. It is late. As you guys can see, I kicked the Corvette out of the garage. Got the lights on just because I'm not really trying to be out here the entire weekend, but realistically I probably will be. It is what it is. You want to play these car games? Well, unless you're rich, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices like I do. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put these on the freezer. 2 Supras, 2 stickers. Get the Supra here in the middle. Should put that one on top. Man, what the? I can't peel these damn things. It's gotta be a little rough. Oh, man, not perfect, but then again, I'm sticking vinyl everywhere, so it's okay. All right, there we go. A Grannis freezer. Okay, so back to this. Oh boy. Oh, I'm getting too old for this. Man, I'll tell you what, that fan is like, that's a whole different thing, man. I've been struggling here for a week. Why'd you bring the fan out here last week, Amor?
I couldn't find it. I forgot it was in the car.
All right, so we got to measure this in millimeters. We're going to zero this out, and we're going to use the DEFA gauge, or however you say that shit. This has to be from the highest point of your clutch fingers. Very, very important. Ow! Oh, I just hit my ribs with the damn the jack. Ah! Oh, that hurt. Oh, lost my ear. All right, we're close. You gotta push in. Oh, mother. You gotta push in. That looks about perfect. All right, so 71.4. I'm gonna lock this, and I'm going to measure it on other spots just to be extra sure. Okay, yeah, we're good. All right. All right, you turn this off because the damn light dies right away. Gotta conserve light. Wait, how the hell am I gonna have a $100,000 car and I can't afford proper lighting in here?
Because you're cheap.
I am cheap, but if it got me this far. Yeah, they're in that box there. I did get some lighting, you guys. It's just I prioritize differently. I prioritize my time to work on the cars instead of doing stuff like that. All right. Yeah, I do. All right, guys. So the distance between the clutch fingers to the flat side of the bell housing is 71.48 or 71.5 millimeters. Air gap should be between 3 and 4, so I'm going to subtract 4. 71.5 minus 4, you're going to look at 67.5, 67.48 or 0.5, it doesn't matter. Let's measure this down to 67.48, so that way I can see where that there you go, 67.47. that's perfect. Now you got to get your straight edge, put it on the flat side of the bearing, and make sure you put some pressure on it so it doesn't move. Most importantly, before you start this, make sure your bearing is squeezed all the way in. Okay, now we're going to put this there, and I need to measure from the flat side here on the trans to the flat side here on the edge, or the straight edge, and it needs to be that distance, 67.48. so you guys see I still need to move this out a little bit. I need to bring it in a little bit. So we're going to spin this a few times. Come on, spin, 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 spin. Let's see where that's at. Closer. All right. Oh man, that's close. It's super close. I think that's going to be a little bit over. Oh, that's it right there. Perfect. Look at that. All right, now measure on the other side just to be extra sure. God damn it, that's perfect right there. But the problem is that I can't mount it like this. This thing needs to be like this in order for the little hoses to burn down the bottom. So these are the two bolts that you get. So you get two different sizes, really depending on your distance. Obviously, it's not going to be that big as one. So this one here, perfect. All right, and that's how you set your air gap. So now I'll take that little bolt out, put some blue lights out on it, and get the car up and install the transmission. All right, you guys, it is the next day. We pulled an all-nighter. Lala was out here helping me. So as you guys will see, transmission is fully bolted and mounted on the car. Pretty much the transmission's done. The only thing that's missing now is the drive shaft. But let me tell you guys why I can't install that yet. I can't install the drive shaft yet because I need to install these. So some of you are gonna ask, well, what are these? These here are solid diff bushings. You guys are probably gonna be shocked to believe that this car still runs the factory rubber bushings on the diff, like the where it mounts onto the subframe. And you know, for the longest time I never considered it to be much of a problem because the car wasn't a TH400 3-speed. So basically all the torque was kind of coming on once. It's not like a 6-speed whenever you're like bam bam bam, you know, it's shocking the drivetrain every single time that you shift. On the TH400 it's more like it shocks it once and it just stays there, right? Because you really never let off until you let off the gas. And now I may be completely wrong about this, but this is just the way I thought of it, and I guess, you know, it worked for all these years. But now going back to a 6-speed, I think this is going to be an absolute necessity just to make sure I don't really destroy those bushings and then really end up with a bigger problem where I have to, you know, fix something on the rear end. Not that I'm really too worried about the rear end because it is a 4.9-inch. However, I'd rather be safe than sorry. And as you guys can tell, these are the rubber bushings. So it's time to get rid of those, put some solid ones in here, do it once and never look back. Obviously the front ear ones, I don't have to worry about that because the DSS 9-inch rear end comes with this bracket and it's already a solid melt. So time to drop this heavy ass monster out of here, install these bushings, and then I could put my drive shaft in. I wasn't gonna do it, I was gonna leave it alone, but Lana told me while the car is up in the air, just do it all at once and just be done with it. So here I go. Good thing that Lala actually convinced me to go ahead and get this over with, because now that I'm inspecting the bushings, they are getting dry rotted. So it's probably just a matter of time before these things really start falling apart. So as you guys can see, there's my big boy 9-inch diff out of the car. These are my level 5 axles just dangling here. Got my fuel pump disconnected and just hanging there. Got the sway bar over there. Now I have to start working on cutting these bushings out. So before somebody tells me in the car, oh my god, damn, I swear, you guys please help your boy out, make my channel go viral so I can afford to one day have a shop and not work on the floor anymore. I'm tired of this. 5 years of working on the floor for YouTube. Come on, you guys, make it happen. Now I gotta start working on cutting these bushings out. I know there is a tool made for it, but I don't feel like spending $100 and something on that and then waiting for it to get shipped. I'm just gonna do it the old-fashioned way. So in the count of 3, they will be out. And they are out. Ah, what a pain in the ass. That sucked. Here they are. It requires some persuading, but they come out.
And as you guys will see here, everything is nice and installed. Next thing that I have to do here is get the shifter installed. You guys will see me putting some Loctite on these bolts. You definitely want these to be nice and secure. You don't want this to come apart whenever you're banging your gears. As you guys will see, the granite shifter actually has a few notches. You can kind of position the shifter a different way. I have a little bit of OCD, so I like to make sure my stuff is perfectly centered. And if you put it right in the middle, you just can't go wrong. It just fits perfectly. This right here is the final 2 bolts, and tighten that up real nice and tight. And she's ready to go.
All right, boys, and it has come down to this. Transmission is full of fluid. Clutch has been bled. Thank you, Lala, for helping me. Time to fire it up and make sure that these wheels spin. And also make sure that my speedometer is actually moving, because I would wire up the entire harness already. So can't afford to have made any mistakes. Put the clutch in. Let it warm up a little bit. All right, boys, and she is good. Put it first, second, third, and fourth. Obviously, I gotta calibrate the speedometer. It's like way off, but it moves. So now the only thing left for me to do is remove that front bumper, take the oil cooler out, get the lines out of there, and that's it. The car's done. I'm gonna pull the car out so I can put my interior, my center console back in, because I am tired of working in this tiny little garage. I've been in here for 2 weeks. This whole video took 2 weeks to do, and that is because I do have a day job. So having to do this after work on the weekends, take care of my family, you know, it was exhausting. I'm really tired, but that's gonna be it for this video, guys. On the next one, you guys will see me driving this car for the first time with the 6-speed. Super excited about that. I know this was a long video. I just was completing y'all's request about wanting to see a vlog, and you guys want to see everything that goes into this. So there you go. If you guys do enjoy this, like, comment, subscribe, you know, show some love on the video. And yeah, I am going to clean up. I need to get some rest. I'm exhausted, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.